going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick. We are safe and sound, thankfully. It's been a wild few days here in LA. Obviously, everyone in the country and the world knows about the fires. It really has been. I'm assuming you all feel the same way, but it was very much giving like if you were in LA, which I think all of us were safe inside, obviously, because the air quality was pretty scary for a while. But it was giving like the first couple of days of COVID. You know, going to the grocery store, everyone's wearing masks again. Like grocery store, like shelves felt pretty picked through at times. People buying large amounts of water. Very eerie feeling. Obviously, very scary. Thankfully, we are okay. So many other people have not been. Obviously, a lot of people have lost homes. You know, so many thousands of people have lost homes. Sadly, people have lost their lives. It's really very tragic, but hopefully things are getting better. We have some wind in the forecast this week, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's been crazy.
I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of chatter online and like critiquing online. I feel like this is when the people love to critique influencers and celebrities, and especially people who, quite frankly, aren't even in LA, I feel like are the loudest. But it's like, I've heard a lot of people say that like influencers are handling this wrong, right? Like there's some who are leaving town and flying to a different state, you know, and they're running away. And then there's the people who are posting and like, donate, here's everything I'm donating. I'm going and buying this and donating this. And it's like, you're such a pick-me, you're trying to get clout. And then it's people who aren't posting and it's like, what are you doing? You know, there's just so much criticism around everyone's moves right now. And I feel like there's no like rule book or right way to deal with or cope with or live through devastation and traumatic experiences. And it's like for people to critique what people are doing, it's like if you left town because you were scared, like that's fine.
You should learn from fires.
If you like stayed and you went to Costco and you bought a bunch of stuff or you took a bunch of donations and you helped a bunch of people and you posted it all over the internet, that's fine. If you did all of that but didn't post it, that's fine. If like,
you know what's not helpful? Your criticisms.
Yep.
It's just like, I just feel like people are so quick to use these moments to be like, see, that's why I hate that influencer because she like hasn't posted one single thing this whole fire. And it's like, probably because I don't know, she's scared. She's with her family. She's trying to protect herself. It's like at the very least, everyone in LA experienced some sort of sleep deprivation, anxiety, smoke inhalation. Like we all were sitting wondering, like, are we next? Like, I feel like everyone had this sense of like, should we pack a to-go bag? Should I mean, I'm running around our house being like, what are our prized possessions? Like, what are stuff that we can't replace? And that's a really scary feeling to just even have to think about that. There's just no right or wrong way. And, you know, for even for the people who are like posting like normal, people are mad at them. And it's like, they're just trying to experience some sort of normality. And I think there is guilt around that normality. It's like, you know, I was like, oh, should I stop and get a coffee this morning? And then I was like, this sense of guilt of like, oh my God, why would I stop and get a coffee? Like, there's people who,
I don't know how you guys feel because there's a eeriness of like, are we supposed to like act normal now? Like, what is the protocol here? You wake up each day. Some days there's clouds in the sky. Some days it's like the skies are clear. It's very uncertain here. Yeah, it's and for us, like you know, Natalie mentioned, like Natalie packed like a to-go bag. This particular fire has been a historical travesty, but like it's obviously gotten out of control. There's a lot of dialogue about how that happened, but like for it to have gotten as close as it was terrifying because in all the years that I've lived here, we were aware of the fires going on, you know, but for people in LA, where we lived, it was never really something that we had to worry about. And now that we do, it's a new, everyone in LA is just not sure what's going on. And then you have reports of arson, you know, a lot of these fires have been started by arsonists. It's a really scary time. And so obviously think about everyone affected, but you make a great point. Like, I don't know. That's just the internet. Everyone wants to jump on and have an opinion, especially when they're not even here. Like, you don't even know what's going on.
It's also with like the celebrities, you know, it's like Kim Kardashian is posting nonstop about this and that and resources. And it's like, how do you know she hasn't donated a bunch? Like, just because people aren't posting that they're donating doesn't mean they're not donating.
Because if they posted they donated, then you're also...
Then people are like, oh my God, you're so pick-me. You're only doing... But like, it's like when people film themselves helping homeless people. It's like, you're only doing that to have a video or to help, you know. But it's like people feel like if they don't record it and don't post it, then people are going to think they're not helping and they're not doing anything.
I also think there's a misconception that it's only rich people being affected by these fires, where it's like these are people that have inherited homes that couldn't even afford to buy this home currently, or like just normal people in general
could barely
too.
afford the property taxes.
Yeah, so it's like it's everybody.
A lot of it was like rent-controlled apartments that people had lived in for 30, 40, 50 years that had just that's all they could afford.
Altadena and Pasadena are just like normal communities that have just been like absolutely devastated. I've seen like, as far as like the community in LA, just like enormous amounts of like empathy and care for each other, which is kind of like, I guess, in a really messed up way, like some sort of silver lining of this. Have basic empathy for people who have gone through like utter destruction, and the worst thing that could happen.
It's all
to
it
you.
takes is just to be like,
I don't know.
Maybe you wouldn't handle it that way, but you're not here and you're not like living through this. And so I just don't think there's a rule book to this type of stuff.
There's a lot of crazy stories out there. We do have a great episode coming up. We do have Dorinda from Traitors joining us later this episode. Sadly, if you are watching Traitors, we are. We're going to talk about it, obviously, with Dorinda. Really entertaining. Sadly, Dorinda was already voted off. Lots of discussions and dialogue on that, but she joins us later in the show. This is obviously a very tragic time for LA, and there's a lot of sad stories, but we do want to try to focus on more positive stories. I mean, there's not much positives. There's always, but there have been some community members that have been heroes dealing with this tragedy. And one of them, his name is Alec Gellis. His girlfriend, Kelly, sadly lost her house. He has been fighting fires. He had to deal with the Franklin fire that was a few weeks ago to try to save his house and a few of his neighbors' houses. And then when this fire happened, he was once again fighting fires and literally putting his life on the line. Sadly, his girlfriend lost her house in the fire. It was definitely an act of bravery that he put out, and he is so gracious enough to join us and share a little bit of his story. So welcome to the show, Alec. Hey, Alec, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? How's everybody? Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you as well. We are okay. Obviously, first off, we want to start by giving you our condolences. Kelly, obviously your girlfriend, she couldn't be with us. She lost her house, but you've been dealing with some pretty sad tragedy over the past few weeks. So we just, first and foremost, appreciate you taking the time, man.
Definitely. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a wild couple months, and
Yeah. So we kind of introed you, but can you, in your own words, just kind of explain what the past couple months has been like, starting with back when you started just dealing with the Franklin fire?
Yeah. So about 3 months ago, there was a fire in Malibu. One house burned on Malibu Road, and then the next month there was a Franklin fire that kind of ripped through. It came into Sarah Retreat, where I live was kind of like ground zero. So we were prepared with the pumps and the pools and those gas-powered generators, and we're able to put out the fires here at our place, and then the neighbors' houses, Patrick Dempsey's, Dick Van Dyke, and a couple other people. And that Franklin fire burned through all the brush here. And then so when the Palisades fire came, it ripped through the Palisades up to Malibu, and it basically stopped burning when it got into my neighborhood because everything had already burned. But it came through Kelly's. I was over there, did everything that I could to put it out. It was so much wind, so much ember, so much fire. There wasn't anything I could do. There was no oxygen in the air, so I basically just had to get out of there.
Scary, man. Like, so when you were fighting this fire, and obviously how much you were successful a few weeks ago. I mean, is this something you were just kind of figuring out on the fly? Did you have experience fighting these types of fires from the past? And what made you realize that, hey, I just need to get the heck out of there? Obviously, you mentioned no oxygen, but yeah, what even made you think that, oh shit, like, let's just get the fuck out of here right now, as opposed to just trying to fight the fire?
Yeah. So these wildfires in Malibu, they happen every 10 years or so. I mean, there's historically always been these crazy fires that come through. So the people that have been residents for a while know that you got to be prepared. And if you can stay and put out spot fires as embers land in trees and in bushes, you can a lot of the time save your home. And a lot of people were able to save their homes. I've been seeing a lot of really cool videos of people with their hoses, with the pumps, saving their homes. But sometimes too much fire comes through, and it's just not something that you can stay through. So it got to a point where I'm there. It's like literally like a blizzard of like murder hornets that are on fire, just like stinging me.
Oh man.
And I can't breathe. I'm suffocating, so I just basically sprinted to my car.
Oh, that's so scary. Did you incur any injuries at all while fighting these fires?
No injuries, luckily.
Oh, thank God.
Where was Kelly when you were trying to put out the fire in her house? Was she also there?
So yeah, so we were up at her place. We basically just like watered it down. We were just kind of like spraying all the hedges and like the roof and everything, and just making sure it was all soaking wet. That if a fire came, it would like an ember lands on it, it just goes out right away.
Sure.
Mhm.
And when the fire came over the hill, it got too close, and she just didn't feel safe. So I just drove her over to my place really quick, and then came back, and the cops almost didn't let me in. I had to like fight two cops, like got in like a
Wow.
screaming argument with two cops to get back in, and one of them chased me back up to the house.
Oh, jeez.
And eventually was just like, dude, you're fucking crazy, and just like left. And basically yeah, that's what happened.
Man, that is really sad. How is Kelly doing? I mean, I couldn't even imagine what it's like to lose a house. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Was she able to get her most valuable possessions out, or what did that look like?
She got some stuff out, but like pretty much lost everything. And it was a really special cottage that she was renting. And she kind of has this like really epic, like fairy vibe, creative. And it was just such like a special place to chill. And it was like her dream home that she'd been seeing driving in and out of Malibu for like years. And then like just kind of like happened to end up being able to rent it. And she'd only been there since April. So it's just like super devastating. So she's really sad. Just been trying to like stay positive and kind of look to the future and avoid looking in the rearview mirror and just see all the opportunities going forward and like all the cool travel possibilities, and like trying to just kind of like see like the like blue ocean ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do is try to be positive. What are other people in your community experiencing?
It's super crazy here. So the challenge with Malibu is there's so many regulatory agencies that make it almost impossible to rebuild your home. So there's many homes that haven't even been able to be rebuilt since Woolsey fire. So especially these houses on the beach are especially difficult to build. So most of these houses are from the 70s or even earlier, and they're people that are older who have the tax basis from a long time ago. So they probably won't be able to rebuild. Most of them are underinsured, or the insurance dropped them because the area is so fire prone. So most of these people really like lost everything, and it may take a decade or more for them to rebuild. So essentially, it's just a complete loss because they won't be able to sustain holding the property. So it's hard to tell what's going to happen to a lot of these homes. Probably they're just going to turn into like mega billionaire compounds. That's going to be like kind of crazy. But yeah, it's really going to change the community a lot, especially in that area. And so the half of Malibu that burned was the half that didn't burn in Woolsey. So it's just like, whoa.
Ugh, man.
What is the PCH in Malibu like right now? I mean, we obviously haven't been down there.
It's like a nuke town.
Yeah.
It's like
it used to be
it's
one of
like
the prettiest drives, maybe in the world. And now, I mean, again, like Natalie said, we haven't been there. I can't even imagine what it's like, the devastation, and like an apocalyptic type of movie.
yeah, apocalyptic movie. Like bombs were dropped.
Oh my God.
Man.
Malibu in the 40s.
Yeah.
So you live in a community where you saved Patrick Dempsey and Dick Van Dyke's house.
Yeah.
So is that
Yeah,
just
so
you just got out
yeah.
and you started spraying their house as well?
Yeah, so we had like these like fire hoses, and we like soaked our house, and the Franklin fire was a whole nother beast. So it was just going through the brush. It wasn't catching houses on fire. So the embers that landed were much easier to put out. There wasn't as much fire. There wasn't as much force or wind behind the fires. So I was able to do a lot of good at neighbors' houses with just like their garden hoses or their sprinklers, or like one neighbor had like a fire hose like pool system like we did, and it was much easier. But with this, it's like a house catches on fire with like levels and so many layers of like wood and different materials. It's like that's not going to get put out with a hose, garden hose.
Yeah.
Does Kelly have any sort of GoFundMe or place that our audience and our listeners can donate to? Since, I mean, she's just lost absolutely everything.
Definitely. Yeah, please go to her Instagram. It's at Kelly Lauren, and her link's in her bio. And the GoFundMe is help Kelly rebuild from the Palisades fire.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll make sure we put that in our show notes as well. Man, it's such a sad situation. We really appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything you want to leave us with, in terms of, I don't know, if any inspiration or just words of wisdom? I don't think this is, we're not even completely out of it yet. We obviously have some wind advisories this week as well. So it's definitely kind of still wait and see. But, what can you leave us with, Alec?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important just to live with gratitude and just be positive, enjoy every moment, because it can all change so fast. And also it's an opportunity just to break the routine and be flexible. And like, I mean that in a way that's like not insensitive. And I mean, it's just tough because so many people's dream homes were in LA that they got. But yeah, I hope everyone can just, stay strong and stay positive that they're alive, and just be free to go forward with their future with nothing holding them back if they lost something.
Yeah.
Well, like, I definitely feel like you are seen as a hero. I hope you feel that. I hope your neighbors feel that. I hope Kelly feels that. I mean, for you to step up and try to help all of these people is really inspirational. And honestly, like, I just want to say thank you, even though it wasn't me you were helping.
I appreciate it. Yeah, nice to meet everybody, and
Nice to meet
thanks
you
for having
too.
me on.
Yeah, thank you, Alec. Best of luck. Give Kelly our best, and thank you for your heroism.
Thanks, guys.
All right, take care, buddy.
Bye.
Well, on a more positive note, obviously, still with tragedy, friends of the show, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, they also sadly lost their house. But in a kind of twist of positivity, Spencer, trying to raise money to help pay for their lost house, asked fans to support his wife's hit song, I'll Do It. And the fans pulled through. And
I think it's always been Heidi's dream to be like a pop star. And so
Yeah.
I think the fact that Spencer's been able to like get all of this support and have all of these people like rally behind and stream I'll Do It and her album Superficial and like make her #1 on the charts and make her this pop star she's always dreamed of
It's
being.
really great.
It's really great.
It's a really
Yeah.
cool story. We wanna keep supporting it. They're #1 on iTunes now. I think we're trying to get them also to #1 on Spotify and on the Billboard charts as a whole. The job is not done. We still need to go out and try to support Heidi and Spencer's song. I mean, for one, we just want to support them. They literally lost their house. And two, I mean, it's a good story. And we need stories like this of inspiration and positivity in the face of tragedy. And it's been really cool to see their fans and their supporters come together to support Heidi and their song. And it's a catchy song. And a lot of other celebrities, Emrata posted about it, being like, it's the new song of the summer. It's going to be the 2025 song of the summer. Flavor Flav is supporting it.
Pitbull said that he's going to drop a verse on it too.
Pitbull. So that, I mean, it's we're really going here, and it's really taken off.
It's cool too because Heidi had a quote back in 2010 where she said, if this album doesn't blow up next week, maybe it's next year, maybe it's like
I think
14
she said
years
that
later.
when they were here.
Yeah,
like,
she said it again. That's just always been her
that's
approach.
always been her kind of approach. You never really know.
They also have 2 young boys, which,
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone knows, but it is, I mean, it's just so heartbreaking that these young boys.
No, it's devastating. I mean, adults. I mean, even adults. Like when you're talking to Alec. I mean, he seems to be trying to have a positive spin, but this is traumatic and it's terrible and it affects you. But when you have for the
How do
kids,
you explain that to they have what, a 2-year-old? Like, what's their youngest? 2?
Old enough to remember, I think so.
I mean, old enough to remember their room and their toys
Yeah.
and like their favorite hide and seek places in their house, and all of that is gone, and it's so sad.
So, Justin, what is the name of the album if they want to go buy the whole album?
Superficial.
Superficial. So whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you want, go support Heidi and Spencer and download Heidi's hit song, I'll Do It.
Or stream it. Just listen.
Just listen.
Stream it.
Just listen.
On repeat. As Spencer said, you
Put
can
it
have
on
the
a
volume
playlist.
low, and you don't even have to listen to it if it's not your taste, but still stream
And
it.
give it 5 stars. And then, speaking of the assholes out there, I posted about it, I think, the other day. And then, a couple of people like, oh, it's only got 2 stars. I'm like, literally go fuck yourself. Like, no one cares about the stars. Like, it's #1. Like, how many of y'all had a #1 song? I haven't.
I have in my heart.
There you go. Anyways, on a not so positive note, Justin got a parking ticket during the fires.
Yeah, can I have a little second on this?
You can
Do
have a
it.
second.
Justin, take a second.
I've decided this is the hill I'm going to die on. Basically, my partner had to evacuate the Hollywood area, mandatory evacuation during the Sunset Fire. Came to my house that night. I moved my car out of my parking spot onto the street so he could have it, just as timing wise.
And you're just a good lover.
And my good lover.
Yeah.
I wake up and I move my car 2 minutes after the like street sweeping sign, whatever notice. I get a ticket 2 minutes after. During the evacuations, mandatory
That's
evacuations,
crazy.
there's ash falling from the sky. So first of all, I'm like, what are we sweeping? First of all, what are you sweeping? There's not a
No.
single car in sight sweeping the streets. Also, what are you going to sweep? And then I'm like, and so now we're ticketing people, victims of the fire that are evacuating because you told them to evacuate. I saw a picture the other day it was someone who evacuated from Palisades, put a sign in their car on the window that said, just evacuated last night from the Palisades. Please do not ticket. They ticketed
crazy.
it, put the ticket right on top of the sign.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so
Are
it's
you
like,
serious?
yeah, I saw that.
I mean,
I contested the ticket and I'm willing to use these words. I said it's extremely inhumane and ignorant to be ticketing people while you're telling them to evacuate.
That.
is there any other inspirational stories that we could share?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who are stepping up and being on the front lines. I mean, first and foremost, all of the firefighters who have been on the front lines for days and days and days and have not slept, and the people from Canada and the people from Mexico and all the
volunteers, all the local businesses and restaurants and people who have been donating food and catering food, all the people who have done anything they could to help. We appreciate them.
There's so many brands also who are sending baby formula and baby clothes and, you know, just so many things to people who've lost. And I think just all of those people just deserve to be thanked and
Recognized.
recognized for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, I've never been so proud to live in LA.
Same.
Yeah.
All right, household headlines.
Before we get into household headlines, I need a follow up on the fast, Nick.
It was successful. I lasted 3 days of no eating. And on the 4th day, I did fruit all day. What?
I feel like I also participated in this fast by not
okay,
even
so
signing
sorry.
up.
Let me rephrase. Nick and Natalie. how
Thank
did
you.
the fast go?
Thank you. Because Nick,
I'll shut the fuck up.
I got wild side eye.
yeah, groundbreaking to some of you, but Nick is the cook of our family and he was not cooking.
He wasn't making his girl dinner while he was on his fast?
Well, I
offered-
felt like
it
it was
got
fucked
better-
up for me to be like, could you like make me a steak while you're
Okay.
not eating? You know, like that's fucked up. I did
Well,
for
it's his choice to do
on the last
fast.
night.
I
I did.
pick up John and Vinny's for her.
He did do that
Okay.
one
And that was a
night.
hard car ride home.
Yeah. And
Let me tell you.
I also
With a
popped-
delicious pepperoni pizza, just
Just
Your
drooling
choice.
while driving.
I understood, but day 3 was better. I tell you what, listen, again, I am not offering medical advice out there for anyone, to be clear. But yeah, I found it to be very beneficial for me. It really helped with inflammation. I feel like a little,
Spell me.
you know,
Snatched.
just a little less puffy. But yeah, it's also, most importantly, there's a lot of things. I haven't had any sugar since, I haven't had any coffee since, and I also haven't indulged in, you know, any extracurricular activities ever since.
Are you back on solid food?
Yeah. So on Friday, I did like a fruit cleanse, and then I ate a real dinner on Friday night. So in 3 days without eating anything. And then I had like a bunch of oranges all day Friday. And then we had kale salad Friday night. And then the weekend, I ate like a normal person. But like more than anything, it helps with cravings. So it kind of cleanses your body of like cravings for like sugar and anything else might be slightly addicted to, like caffeine or, you know, other stuff. And I've been pretty clean ever since. So yay for me.
Next headline is US Weekly. Source says, and it's Natalie.
No.
Yeah,
I am the
I
fucking
love how
source.
that turned into news in the midst of
I
the
can't
city
believe that
burning
was
down.
news in the midst of the city burning
Yeah,
down.
but once again, I'm not offering medical advice, but they also called it controversial. Like fasting isn't controversial.
So stupid.
Like,
people fast all the time, for
time.
many different reasons.
fasting is very healthy for you. Again, talk to your medical professional if you ever
I
want to.
fasted
look
without consent.
There you
though,
go.
I think is something that we need
Fasting,
to know.
that is not okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had no.
justice
I
for
gave no
you.
consent to the fast that I was a part of. I mean, one night all I had was a cinnamon raisin English muffin,
Wow.
Anything on it?
cream cheese.
You scared me.
Cream cheese.
Okay.
He wasn't going to the grocery store either.
he wasn't. He was not cooking, chefing it up like he
I'll tell you what,
once
though,
was.
Natalie's selling herself short. While she doesn't cook for us, she is an excellent cook for our daughter, River. She makes the best girl dinners for River. Like every meal, River has this little cute little girl dinner, and it's got like a little protein, a little vegetable, a little maybe some cottage cheese. I mean, our daughter eats well. She does, which is good.
That's honestly the only reason I was having any substance at all was because I was in fact having to cook for River, and I was eating her leftovers and the stuff she didn't eat. So thank God we have a kid, or I don't know if I'd be standing today.
Well, we are okay.
We've all gotten a terrible pimple before going on a date or taking an important picture. It can feel like your skin is completely out of your control, but that's not the case, especially with Apostrophe. Feeling confident in your skin starts with getting expert care, whether you're dealing with acne, signs of aging, or dark spots. Apostrophe helps you get access to the right treatments for your skin.
Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne and dermatology treatment for your unique skin. Apostrophe's goal is to help you feel confident in your skin, whether you're dealing with breakouts, signs of aging, or acne scarring. Apostrophe will help you love the skin you are in.
Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. Simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history, then snap a few selfies, and a dermatology provider will create a customized treatment plan just for you. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, even back, chest, and butt acne. Treat breakouts from head to toe.
We all know how difficult it can be to get into a dermatologist when you need them. Well, let Apostrophe help you out with that. We have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/VIALL. When you use our code VIALL, that's a savings of $15. This code is only available for our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/VIALL and click Get Started. Then use our code VIALL to sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode.
Feeding your family today feels like navigating a maze of unhealthy options between hidden sugars, artificial ingredients, misleading labels. It's hard to know what's actually good for you. That's why you should try Thrive Market. It's like having a personal guide to healthier living for your entire family. I know I love Thrive Market because there's a lot of, little snacks and treats and yogurt melts and puffs and whatever I want to give to River because I want her to have snacks, but when we're on the go, some easy stuff. But a lot of the stuff that you find in regular grocery stores will say organic or will say whatever on them, and the ingredients are the longest list of ingredients you can read. So I really trust Thrive Market for feeding my family.
Thrive Market makes it simple to find trusted, family-friendly brands without spending hours in the grocery store. From snacks and school lunches to pantry staples, everything they offer is 100% non-GMO.
And with their on-site filters, you can shop based on what matters most to your family. So whether it's low sugar, gluten-free, organic, or high-protein options, all of them are just a click away.
Plus, Thrive Market's Smart Cart feature takes the guesswork out of healthy shopping when you create an account. They ask you about your family needs and automatically build a cart full of cleaner versions of your favorite brands. You can tweak it before checking out, but it's a great way to get started, especially if you're trying to phase out the junk food. Ready for a junk-free start to 2025? Head to thrivemarket.com/VIALL and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's thrivemarket.com, THRIVE market.com/VIALL, thrivemarket.com/VIALL. In other news, Allison Holker speaks out. Honestly, this has gotten real messy.
I think people are leaking phone calls with her and voice memos.
Friends of Steven's are on the phone with her. I don't know. It's tough. And then Steven's stepdaughter, her first daughter that Steven adopted, spoke out, which I guess my only response to that is I'm really sad that a 16-year-old has to be put into this. I mean, maybe whether it's her choice or not, but I feel uncomfortable that a 16-year-old is participating in this very public family drama. That's really all I have to say about that. I know she gave some explanations as to why she was very much defending her mom, but I don't know, man. And then this leaked video, Allison is talking to, allegedly a friend of Steven's, and she did not back down from making his family sign an NDA. I don't know. Justin, you seem to understand it. I don't understand it. I just don't know how you make his mom sign an NDA. I'm not talking about extended family. I'm not talking about cousins or people you don't know, but and she didn't back down. I just feel like the only way you make someone's mother whose son just passed away sign an NDA, either they're not close at all or you're out of touch. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if understand's the right word for me, but I can see that I think there's two sides to this in the sense of once her daughter spoke out, it was very much like his family wasn't close to him. There's all these people leaking headlines, saying things when they weren't even around him when he was alive and aren't around him now. And it's she very much said that the NDAs were something that was agreed upon before he passed. It was like every event they hosted, there was always NDAs.
That's a weird thing to say. She asked him to sign up for parties, comparing a party to a funeral.
Well, and she said the reason Allison had the NDA was because she didn't want people to be taking pictures of the body. Like that was the one thing during this time that she didn't want headlines to be like publishing photos.
I mean, that totally makes sense, and I think that's valid for sure for everyone.
But his mom.
For everyone but his mom.
If she wants to take a photo of her son in a casket, she should have every right. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like her daughter speaking out, I'm assuming she is just speaking the rhetoric of her mom. Like, I don't know. It's just.
Well, she's obviously going to want to support her mom
Of
when her
course.
mom's going through a tough
I do
time.
want to clarify too. She said that not everybody signed the NDA, so it wasn't like
She asked everyone to sign.
she asked everyone to. Her
That's
mom
the
was
point.
lenient because she understood that it was like the situation was someone lost her life. Like it wasn't. She was forcing people, is what the daughter said.
Has his mom said anything, or
Yeah.
has
His
she
mom.
has?
His mom did speak out like before Allison apologized and before.
It was
the
very
daughter
critical
spoke out.
of-
What did
of
she
Allison.
say?
Our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publication spreading untruths about Stephen has crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren, but when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realized I could no longer stay silent. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor, signed Connie Boss Alexander.
I mean, just fame affects people in all sorts of different ways, and it's just a weird thing. But
I do know Allison's apology included like promoting her book and the foundation that she started too. So I know people are
Yeah.
criticizing that as well.
Aren't all proceeds of the book going to like a charity?
The
no,
charity.
to her foundation that she runs,
Yeah.
which I don't know.
Oh.
It's just it doesn't not still create questions.
Questions, yes.
Yeah.
At best, it just gives a little bit out of touch.
Mhm.
You know, it gives like you don't understand our world, and this is why we did what we did. But he has passed.
I think there's like a very thin line of her being able to share her story and share what she went through and give advice and help the people who are going through similar things. And that very thin line, the other side of it is like outing your dead husband's demons.
Mhm.
And like,
Yeah.
Without the permission of anyone else and deciding that it's, the buck stops with you.
it's just like, obviously I don't know this family, but like, did his mom know that that happened to him as a kid, or did she read it in your book? Like, did people in his life know these things about him, or are you sharing it to them for the first time and they don't get to have any conversation with him about it, and they just have to like deal with their lasting memory of him not be what they thought it was, and now it's this like perception you've written about?
And we've talked about this. We obviously have met Allison and have nothing but very positive experiences with Allison. And I think it's safe to say that she had the best intentions, but we know that sometimes you can have the best intentions and still deserve criticism. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can have the best intentions and you can still like reflect and maybe acknowledge that like you could have done things differently. The hardest part for me was listening to that leaked video and have her at the end very steadfast or very kind of like defiant, being like, I would do it again over and over and over, referencing asking his mom to sign an NDA. And I just like, in what world at this point could you not just say, hey, maybe that wasn't the best choice? I mean, in that same video, she talked about how people have praised her for how she's handled this. I don't know who they is. I'm assuming she's talking about the internet or like her agents or friends. I don't know. But like certainly none of Stephen's family is praising her for how she's handled this. And I think close or not, like that's not an excuse to not be considerate to how this is affecting people outside of her world. It's a tough story. And I hate that it's happened for this family. I hate that it's happened for Allison and her family. And I hate that her 16-year-old daughter is forced into this drama. It's a tough situation.
It's also a tough situation because Rachel Lindsay has to pay her ex, Brian, $500 in...
$500,000.
We wish.
Big difference.
Yeah, no, I'm not good at math. $500,000 in the divorce, and how they'll split. This is my favorite part. How they'll split their homes, jewelry, and Honda Accord.
He's getting
Not
the Honda
the
Just
Accord.
fucking give him the Honda Accord. Yeah.
She could love that Honda Accord.
I think he got the Honda Accord. I feel like Rachel put that in there on purpose, the Honda Accord.
Yeah. Just so you know, after we're divorced, he's driving a Honda Accord.
The couple's vehicles will also be split between them, with Abasolo taking the 2021 Honda Accord while Lindsay takes the 2023 Porsche Macan. Get it, bitch.
Should we
Get
go
it,
through it?
get
So
it,
basically,
bitch.
he'll get the Miami condo. She's going to get the LA home in North Hollywood. Both of them are keeping their wedding bands and watches, or assumably gifts that they gave to each other. She'll keep the engagement ring and paintings from the Bachelorette. And then basically, per the settlement, the $39,771 she has already paid to her ex-husband is spousal support will be deducted from the payment, which is the $500,000, leaving Lindsay with a total of $460,229 owed to him. And the first half of the payment, which is $230,114.50, must be paid to him by January 17th.
Wow.
That's so quick.
Man.
I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. It's
It's a lot of money.
He did also waive his right to any further spousal support.
What a
So he
hero.
was like, you know what? This $500K is good. Thanks.
Yeah. This is why it's rumored that Noah Baumbach, Greta Gerwig's husband, made Madagascar because he was going through a divorce. So
what
he
a
made
great-
Madagascar. I know. It's just like
he
funny.
popped off.
It's funny when like people.
He's like, I'm gonna make this
Yeah,
Madagascar
to
movie
see-
because I need, and then like
Yeah.
box office fucking hit.
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, it's like I think it might have been Madagascar 3. I don't remember.
Oh.
But it's just funny because
I think
people
it still
talk in
made money.
context. Yeah, it did. It's funny because people talk about the like dumb stuff people will do to like pay off their divorce, but then to see the numbers right up front of you and see the time frame, you're like, "Oh, yeah,
I'd make Madagascar 3 too.
I would make Madagascar 3 too." And Rachel Lindsay, whatever you need to do, I'm going to support you in doing that.
Well, speaking of poorly timed clapbacks, Zach Bryan finally decided to speak out amidst the breakup between him and Brianna
I think it was valid.
Loser.
I think this was valid timing. I think this
during
was.
the fire.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't live in California. He's not like.
He referenced
This
the
is-
fire.
again,
in his-
okay.
He referenced the fire.
He's just using a lot of words that are just like
Well, it's-
PR train
okay,
yourself.
all I'm saying is I think he's doing what everyone does when people, like you just did, of like, well, picking up press about my fast. There's bigger things going on in the world. Like, yeah, it's like, let's focus on
Sure.
the more important things in the world and not. Like, these people on TikTok are doing deep fucking dives on every person that Zach is like in a room with. And these are, from his words,
Well,
his
that's not
friends,
okay.
his friends of years. And they're stalking these people. They're commenting on these people. They're making these viral videos being like, this fucking whore. She's like, whatever. And she's with Zach and she's doing this. And this is his new girlfriend. And she's ugly and she's fat and she's stupid and she's dumb and she's. And he's like, these are my friends. Like, these have been my friends for 20 years or however long. And he's like, what? Like, leave my friends alone. Like, you can hate me all you want, but leave my friends alone. And I think he's valid in it.
Is
Okay.
this still related to the Brianna
Oh, yeah.
breakup, or is there? Oh, so these are just.
Well,
fans.
he was very silent, kind of almost shockingly silent. Like,
Right.
just she was out there saying he did this, he did that, blah blah blah, and he was out there posting like,
My dog in my truck.
yeah, just like nothing's going on, you
Uh-huh.
know,
Mhm.
which I think a lot of people found triggering. And then, you know, as Natalie pointed out, I didn't realize that was going on. The internet was toxic.
He did. Yeah, this didn't just come out of nowhere where he's like, all right, it's finally my time to address it.
Yeah.
Or it's
Like,
like, was
here's
there-
my 5
That's
story
fair, that's
posts.
fair.
Was there
it
a new
was like-
headline?
It was crazy. I mean, it was on my TikTok timeline where I'm like, these people are mean.
What
Okay.
stuck out to me was whether you think I suck or not, stop being such a sad and fat-fingered internet sleuth to my friends.
Fat fingered is very
That's a
that.
drag. That's a deep cut drag.
He was just choosing words that I'm like, I feel like we could have PR trained this a little more, but you're clearly passionate about defending your friends.
Yeah.
Clearly passionate about defending his.
You are
Listen,
a
He is-
songwriter.
He is certainly typing.
He's protecting his friends, but did not want to protect his girlfriend at the time, which, you know,
I feel like the best thing to do in these situations is like, let's say, okay, for the Zach Bryan thing, he does this. It's shitty. Stop talking about him. Don't give him the spotlight. Don't give him the
People
time
aren't
of
smart
day.
enough.
They're
I don't
not
know.
smart.
Like
That's what's
that's
so
the way to.
confusing.
That's like the way. Don't like give him more attention
Yeah,
after
but,
this.
that's
Let him fade off and then like write his sad little songs about it.
yeah, they'll never get that.
That's
Like,
what's so confusing. I'm like, is that Brianna's moved on? So I'm like, why are you guys still so
Yeah, she-
focused on him?
I don't know if she's moved on.
she's
She
moved
posted
on.
a video with a new guy.
Oh, maybe,
No,
maybe,
maybe
like
so, but-
physically,
You mean
she's
talking
moved on,
about
but
it.
She has, yeah. We're still doing podcast episodes on it at this point.
She is still talking about
Okay.
At the Golden Globes on the red carpet.
I take back what I said. It's just not on my algorithm.
At the Globes?
At the Globes,
Well,
the
she's also
interviewer-
still being asked about it. Also,
That's true.
So
That is true, but there's
she
a
is-
way
she's
to
taking the bait.
answer
Yes,
where
yes,
you
yeah.
know, seem like, okay, I've moved on. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not letting him control my life anymore. And
She
she
definitely
had a
could say,
response of
listen,
like, I want a new boyfriend that has hair and height and is not, you know, and it's
Okay.
like,
She's
you're just
allowed. I
digging.
did see that.
You're-
she's still digging. She's definitely not taking the high road. She is.
She doesn't have to take the high road.
No, she absolutely does not. But she is feeling the fire, and she is not choosing peace. And she can do whatever the fuck she wants. But
Yeah.
like, at this point, it's
His friends being harassed is like, that
it
crosses a
was-
lot of lines.
Yeah, it
and
was
people
really
should
bad.
Be normal.
It was really
I
bad.
feel
Yeah.
like Brianna has said what she needed to say, and at this point, if she is saying more, it's it's hard not to assume she's capitalizing
Yeah.
on said breakup.
Yeah. Do you think her dad thinks that she's going to be okay in the breakup? Because Tom Holland's dad
I was like, I actually don't know anything
I don't
about
know.
her dad. I've
Is-
never heard him.
Tom Holland's dad is confident actor's relationship with Zendaya will last despite strain of, quote, combined stardom.
As he should.
He said this on his Patreon.
He has a Tom Holland's dad.
That's the
Mhm.
funniest thing to me. I don't know what the Patreon is or what they sell, but like,
He's working.
If I'm Tommy Spider-Man, I'm gonna be like, Dad, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
like,
you
Maybe
need a
this isn't
Patreon.
okay, but Patreon, maybe he has like a passion project that he's working on that, like, he wants to be independent of his son financially.
That still requires an answer
A
questions
statement
about
about-
I don't
Tom.
know. Maybe he's excited.
Listen,
He
pop
said,
off.
okay, well, he said, I do fret that their combined stardom will amplify their spotlight and the commensurate demands on them, and yet they continually confound me by handling everything with aplomb.
What are these words?
He's
He's
British.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Show business is a messy place for relationships, and particularly so for famous couples as they crash and burn in public and are too numerous to mention. With Nikki helming this family and my wisdom on tap and a study in getting things mostly wrong and yet somehow right at the same time, I am completely confident they will make a successful union.
He could have just been like, listen, I'm Team Tom and Zendaya.
they love each other.
If my parents started a Patreon, that would give me the greatest amount of anxiety. So props to Tom for
Yeah.
even being able to be okay with that.
Props to Tom's dad for using the word aplomb.
There you go.
I love it.
And also props to Tom Sandoval for hiring a lawyer again. For his own
Honestly,
sake. For his
yeah.
own sake.
I wonder if he had one law meeting where he was like, I'm fucked. I got to hire some, like one court hearing.
Well, he just
One-
kept probably saying
yeah.
object, and they said that doesn't
That doesn't
apply
work.
here. Yeah.
Do you think
You
it's
know.
because he's on this like rebrand tour with Traitors?
I don't know.
That he's trying to rehabilitate his image?
How is his image on Traitors?
How-
I don't
I don't know, but it's Tom's logic.
I don't know if there's a rebrand. Tom is consistent.
Well, you know who we could ask? Dorinda Medley.
Dorinda. She did
That's
spend some time with
true.
him.
All right, up next, the icon herself, Dorinda.
The cold weather is officially here. The upside, you can cocoon yourself in Bombas socks, slippers, and underwear all winter long. The secret of Bombas is their fabrics. Their merino wool has the cozy feel of a ski lodge and is perfect for lounging around the house. And if you want to hit the trails, they have athletic socks that perfectly blend comfort and function.
Take care of your feet. Your feet are important. You walk around them all day. Make sure they're cozy and comfortable, and they look great. It's also like kind of a big ick not to have matching socks or just like gross socks. Upgrade your sock game today with Bombas. My personal favorites is the slippers as well. Super comfortable slippers, especially if you're someone who likes to hang and lounge around the house. If you've got cold feet like mine, you'll love the warm, fluffy Sherpa lining and the marshmallow-like cushioning.
Bombas know that little things really do make a big difference, so they've removed all the itchy tags, fixed that annoying toe seam, and perfected the fit of everything. No more socks that slip down or underwear that rides up. And every Bombas item gives back. For every item you purchase, Bombas will donate another item to someone facing homelessness. Really, they've donated over 150 million items thanks to purchases like yours.
So try Bombas now. Head over to bombas.com/VIALL and use code VIALL for 20% off your first purchase. That's Bombas, BOMBAS.com/VIALL. Code VIALL at checkout. Well, we know everyone here who has a dog loves their dog and wants to make sure their dog is around as long as possible. And that's why Sundays for Dogs is so important, because what you feed your dog matters. Your dog doesn't just deserve good dog food, they deserve great dog food. Your dog should only be eating the best of the best, and that's why you need to get them Sundays for Dogs. Sundays for Dogs is healthy dog food that's easy to store and serve that your dog is going to absolutely love.
Sundays was co-founded by Dr. Tori Waxman, a veterinarian who tests and formulates every version of each recipe. Sundays contains 90% meat, 10% superfoods, and 0% synthetic nutrients or artificial ingredients. Dog parents report noticeable health improvements in their pups, including softer fur, fresher breath, better poops, and more energy after switching to Sundays.
Unlike other fresh dog food, Sundays does not require refrigeration or preparation because of their air drying process. Just pour and serve. When you start a Sunday subscriptions, you'll automatically get 20% off and free shipping on every reorder. Cancel or pause your subscription anytime with their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Every order ships right to your door, so you'll never worry about running out of dog food again. The new year is not only the perfect time for us humans to make healthy changes, but for your pup as well. Get 40% off a 2-week trial of Sundays. Go to sundaysfordogs.com/VIALL or use code VIALL at checkout. Dorinda! So excited to have you on the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Let me put a little light on here because I'll be honest with you. I didn't, Mondays for me at this point in my life are just an extended weekend. I don't even really acknowledge Mondays. I just keep flowing right into the weekend until
Honestly,
Tuesdays is when life starts for me now.
Dorinda, right off the bat, I just want to say I aspire to be able to have that life someday. So thank you for that goal.
Well, I've earned it, believe me.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you hire into something, you have to also take on the years of aging. So that's
There you
the only
go.
down. Nothing comes for free.
Well, you look great, if I may say
Oh,
so.
thank you.
Well, first of all, we're so happy you're here, but so devastated, as is all of Bravo Nation.
Yeah.
I know. I
Furious.
want to hear. I'm going to give you a couple secrets. I don't read any comments, and I didn't even watch the when I was on Housewives. I never watched it until the reunion because
Smart.
as a Catholic, I prefer to live in denial. It's worked very well.
Yeah, no, I was also raised Catholic. I also don't read comments, so maybe that's where it comes from. Yeah, we love
But
that.
the good news is I have a ton of friends from the LGBTQ world, and all my friends at NBC, and all my people that reach out to me that send me endless. It's really become, obviously I was devastated when it happened and completely taken aback because I didn't even think I was there long enough to be disliked, right? Because we were just starting and I had the wardrobe, I had the strategy, I had read Art of War. My daughter had written tons of instruction books, and everything to do. I mean, I was ready. And to tell you the truth, the woman that killed me, I think I said good morning to her maybe twice.
I think you're because you're a star. I mean, I think you're the brightest star in the room. Well, I think that early, I don't know. I don't know why people made the decisions did you ever hear why you got voted off from the Traitors?
I do think a little bit, and I don't know if this is true, so it's just my opinion. But, well, first of all, for some reason, I thought the Viall Files was Vicky's podcast. So when they told me...
That's okay. Who's
when
Ricky?
they told me they wanted me to be on the Viall
Vicky.
Files,
Oh,
I'm
Vicky
like,
Gundam.
Vicky wants me to be on their podcast? That seems like an odd pairing, but okay, why not,
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. Thank you for putting us on the map, Vicky.
She did. She really did.
I mean,
Wow.
it means nothing coming from me because I'm not a big podcaster because I'm radio. I'm Sirius XM, so we're radio people over here.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding you. No, listen, I've been thinking about it a lot. It was so weird because we are in such secrecy. Not only when you get murdered, but you have to, before you leave the castle, you're sort of escorted to another place and you live in isolation there, and you have to. They make it very clear that you cannot let any. They announced the cast early this year,
Yeah.
so everyone knew where we were. So I basically came back to JFK in like cloak and dagger and slithered back to Bluestone Manor and like dug a hole and stayed there until they finished filming because I didn't want to ruin it for everyone.
So you kind of have to live in hiding for the period in which they're filming? Is that?
I mean, more or less, because you don't want to, once they announce the cast, if they see me wandering around Bergdorf Goodman, I mean, it doesn't take much to put two and two together. Dorinda Medley's not in Scotland, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to really keep the integrity for the rest of the players. I mean, when you're in it, it's very, very serious, which I loved, and I thought was great the way the production company over there, they're fantastic. But I don't think they have, and I may be wrong, and I hope I don't get in trouble saying this, but, it started off as much more of like a UK thing where they just pick random people and bring them together and let the games begin. And I think now that it's conjoined with NBC and they're picking people that maybe they have a preconceived conception about who the person is, maybe, I think I don't know for sure, but that can maybe cause people to make a decision prematurely, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there long enough to do anything terrible. I mean, listen, I can take full responsibility for all of my antics on Housewives. I've done them, I said them, I lived them. But I'm just sad that no one got to see my wardrobe. I had a amazing.
Well, I was wondering about that because so much about Traitors really has become this fashion show, really. Everyone's very well dressed, this great style. Everyone kind of has their own taste on, what the appropriate attire is for being in a castle in Scotland.
Well, even that's divided. I think that really is sort of the definitely the Housewives. They're very fashion forward, but not so much the Survivors. The Survivors, those are real people. Like, you don't want to be stuck with, you do want to be stuck with them if you want to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, they are like search and kill. You know what I mean? I think one guy told me like 372 live snails in 45 days. I was like, what? Because I don't watch those shows. So it is very different. So, it's very different groupings. And I do think, the Housewives are standouts. It's a really great cast. It's me. It was Dolores, Ayan, Robin. So how can you say you don't have sort of a slight preconceived notion of, I'm not known to be the quietest of the group.
Well, it really seemed like the Housewives in general had a bit of a target on their back. Ayan, like you said, she also got voted off early.
I feel like they target Housewives every season.
I think one of the reasons why people have me come on most things is for content, right? I don't know if at the end of the day I am a great game player, right? It's just, but I do think they missed out on a lot of great content, right?
We agree.
So for that, I'm sad because even watching Dolores and I on the raft, it was hysterical, right?
Oh my God, y'all realizing in real time that you had a target.
For a time, but I have endless memes already. So. That's what I feel. They hire you, they pay you this paycheck that you want to give them content, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long were you sitting on those rafts before they picked you up?
It was long. And you can see on my face the realization. It's so funny because when I saw Dolores, I'm so connected to my housewife girls. We're like the mafia. That when Dolores was on that raft, I didn't even care or listen to what the consequences were. I was just like, well, I'm getting off the raft and being with Dolores. So it was a real loyalty jump. So when we realized on the raft that we're like, wait a second.
It was so funny.
You can actually see the realizations on it.
Yeah.
I even thought then, well, if this is it, at least I'm leaving doing something loyal. I'd rather die with a loyal badge on my back than a betrayer's badge. So.
Exactly.
For the people you got to meet while you were there, were there any standouts or any people that you think might go the distance?
It's just hard to tell because it was so early on. I really think these gamers really know what they're doing. We don't know anything either. They keep it very quiet up until like the show. There's like a bounty on your head. So you're petrified to even say the word traitor. And I take things like that very seriously. Like if you need me to follow, I'm a rule follower. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think people that are very good at holding their cards to their chests It's going to be an interesting season. I mean, I'm going to watch it and enjoy it. I will say, as I said to Hannah the other day, if you're going to leave, I think the best way to leave is the way I did right at the beginning, because it's caused such chaos that if I left 4 or 5 episodes in, it may not have caused as much chaos.
There you go.
Everyone wants justice.
I went to Rise last night, the gay bar in 9th Avenue, and boy, I was like, wow. Like, people are really outraged.
Well, I mean, you know, you are a star. You've been a star on this network for a long time. We haven't had the pleasure of seeing you in a minute. We all get excited that you get casted on. Everyone's tuning in, and then you're gone. It's like,
and you know, it was so weird because I had to carry this for 6 months now, right? And then when the promos came out, they had me in all these promos, and I'm thinking they're making it worse.
Oh yeah.
They're making it worse. You know, they're doing the promos. They're doing the things on Instagram.
Did you see Bob the Drag Queen's response to kind of all the hate about you leaving?
Well, you know what's so interesting? I just got sent that this morning. And it's so funny because I guess he said something like, I'm causing all kinds of chaos. I really haven't. I've been like very quiet about it.
We just love you that much. We're causing it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's just fandom.
Didn't he say something like, and I guess she's causing chaos about it? Did he say that in the article?
Well, I don't know if he accused you or anything, but I mean, fans, you know,
Here,
your
hold on one
I've
second.
seen-
I have it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
yeah,
says,
let us know.
She's causing a scene.
causing a scene. I don't know what
You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done it. All
You're
I
just
said
so
was on
fantastic.
The day I did an Instagram and said, "Hey, listen. So as you know, I'm murdered, and it is what it is, and let's just enjoy the rest. Enjoy the rest of the season with the." That is all I've said. I've been showing. All I've had on my Instagram is parsley, me cooking. Back.
There's
back
no
to my
scene
normal
being
boring
caused.
life.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he wrote that because I think my theory in life is sort of silence is the best. It makes it worse if you say something because, they'll protest too much.
Well, I mean, like you said, you don't read comments, and fans are fanatic, and this show, they love to like use the word murder in a weird kind of literal kind of way, and they take it very seriously. And I don't doubt that many of your fans are.
I mean, I'm less offended by getting murdered than I am offended by him saying, I have no idea who this icon is. I'm like,
Right?
what? Now, wait a second. Now I'm offended. You
Not
get murdered.
one
I was honestly shocked that Bob didn't know. It's crazy.
I mean, I said, the good news is he referred to me as an icon, which is great.
That's true.
That's great.
Facts.
So he's got to answer his own question. And second of all, to tell you the truth, I didn't know who he was. So
I mean,
we're even now.
you did
Yeah,
think this
yeah,
was
you are.
Vicky's podcast, so there is that.
Yeah. You didn't know Bob. You didn't know Viall Files. You didn't.
But listen, I wasn't there long enough to really get to know anyone. It's not like we're hanging out, after we film. We're not all hanging out together. We really are back in our rooms until you film again.
I have a very important question. As someone who's been asked to do this show before, how is the food there?
Here's a funny thing. My first husband was Scottish. So I spent many, and I lived in London 10 years. So I spent, oh my God, at least once, if not twice a month in Scotland. So my daughter's half Scottish. So I knew what to expect. And I kind of like that kind of food. But it's like,
It's different.
it's like Scottish food. It's not gourmet.
Yeah,
The
I might
thing that
struggle.
really surprised me the most is, and I didn't come, even though Phaedra told me, I thought, oh, it's June. It was cold.
Really?
Mhm.
Cold.
Mhm.
Because the thing about Scotland is it's a different type of cold. It's a very dark cold. So even, it's just that even when it rains in Scotland, like in London, when I lived in London, it would rain up here. In Scotland, it like rains in front of your face. There's something chilly about Scotland and being in that castle. Like, I was cold.
At what point did you figure out who the traitors were?
I learned it because what they do is they take you away and then they interview you. Right. And talk to you, and then they let you know. I would have never have guessed it in a million years.
Okay.
Mhm. Who did you have any ideas from the time that you were there?
I thought Sandoval would be a traitor. I know it's obvious, but I thought that they would do it because it was obvious, because sometimes they do that. And I thought that what's her name? The girl from the wrestling.
Nikki.
Nikki. I think
I love her.
Sandoval would reveal himself. I know Tom.
Maybe I just pegged him as a traitor before he even got on.
What did you
I
what
think
did
that's
you
what.
think?
Yeah, what did you think of Tom?
this is what I say about Tom. Again, don't know him that well, but he's exactly as I expected. And I'm always happy when characters are exactly as, I think one of the best
Perfectly
compliments
said.
I always get when people meet me, they're like, we're exactly like I thought you would be. So he was exactly like I thought he would be. I mean, I wouldn't date him, but, but he is exactly the way you would think him to be. You know what I mean?
There really are no surprises with Tom. He is very transparent.
He's
you know,
transparent.
and
He's sweaty.
You know what you're getting with Tom. I don't know how anyone can ever act
And he's
surprised.
he's very, he's not, I didn't realize that he's in his 40s because he has a very sort of like childlike, the way he responds and reacts to things. It's very childlike, right?
Yeah, he's kind of living in Neverland in a little bit.
Yeah, I
Very-
guess. Well,
yeah.
how sad is that whole thing in Neverland and La La Land? I mean,
well, we are here. Yeah, it's devastating.
oh my God, you're in LA. Oh gosh, I was
Yeah.
supposed to know that as well. How
It's
are
okay.
your homes and your families and your pets?
Thankfully, we are okay.
I feel so terrible for the people that lost their homes and stuff, but these animals and stuff, it's doing me in.
It's
And I mean, these poor
devastating.
animals.
Did you see the video of the horse that ran back to get the other 2 horses? Oh,
bawled my eyes out?
me too.
Yeah.
And then I
All
saw
the
the video
goats.
of the grizzly bear over her 2 cubs. And
One of the people who have really kind of popped this season is Dylan, Zac Efron's brother. Did you get a chance to get to know him at all?
a little bit, the one who I really, this is a funny story. So Britney Spears' ex was there.
Yes.
Sam is
And I didn't know who it was because we really didn't see him with Britney Spears, right? And I mean, I turned it on. You'll see her Instagram and she's dancing around in a bikini, and you're like, okay, next. You know what I mean? So I never went that deep with this. So I'm talking to this guy, and I think who's the girl? Bridget, I think her name from Big Brother.
Brittany.
Brittany. So I'm talking to this guy at breakfast and this, and I said, well, tell me about your story. He goes, well, I just got divorced. I was like, oh, you're young, you'll get over it. Like, are you guys friends? He's like, well, I said, is she a model too? And I'm talking away. And I said, well, don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be fine. As long as you try to stay friends with your ex and, just take a little time off. And I turn and I'm going back up to the buffet to get something to eat. She goes, that's Britney Spears' husband. I'm like, what? Because I didn't put 2 and 2 together. He's very young.
How old is he? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know if he's young in age. He's just sort of young in spirit. You know what I mean? But
Like
I guess
Tom
she
Sandoval.
is.
30.
30? Okay, yeah, that's yeah. I wonder if
And
him
how
and
old is
Tom
she?
became friends. I could see that happening.
Maybe, but he's such a nice guy. Very sweet, nice.
She's 43.
But I was trying to give him, can you imagine? I'm trying to give him some life advice, like in a motherly way about going through a divorce. And meanwhile, Britney's
Britney
like,
Spears.
Yeah.
Stars need, relationship advice
I
too.
can't help to mother. That's the problem.
Well, as a mother, how did you feel that all of the other castmates ate without you on the raft and left you there?
That was terrible.
I was so
he-
mad.
I had to promise Hannah I wouldn't get mad about anything, but that lasted about 1 episode. I just thought the whole thing reeked of misogyny.
They're just trying to kick all the ladies off
Yeah.
and into the rafts.
At the end of the day, it was the housewives that were really loyal to each other. Like when you look at all the rafts, it was like just women supporting women. What can I say?
Exactly.
Have you talked to your friend Luann in a while?
Yes, I talked to Luann quite a bit. I talked to Ramona quite a bit.
Wonderful.
I don't talk to Sonia as much because she's on her whole whatever it's called, their stand-up cabaret thing. I moved to Florida. But yes, I talked to Luann. Luann and Sonia and all of us have been friends a very, very, very long time.
That's amazing. Right now, Luann's name is getting thrown around in Southern hospitality. I'm not sure if you're aware about this because she
Oh my
allegedly
God, yes.
Did Luann spill any tea? Do we know if she did didn't they? Like, did they?
Luann is the art of just A, not ever answering the question, and B, being very, Luann doesn't care, I don't think. That's the great thing about Luann. She's probably thrilled that they're throwing her name around.
Yeah, I mean, I hope she got some.
It takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
So
I hope they did.
Luann's not married,
Huh?
so.
Neither is Joe.
Look, I've got my not well bitch glass. I swear to God, that wasn't planned.
Awesome.
That's so funny. Were there anyone that you were hoping maybe other housewives from New York would be on Traitors with you?
No.
He said, I got it.
Mhm.
No, I think it's always fun to meet new people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think one's enough I think some of the other housewives would make great housewives. I mean, make great traders.
Like who?
Well, someone was saying the other day that, they thought Kelly Bensimon would be a great trader because she's so wacky and fun that she's sort of you wouldn't expect it.
A wild
Because
card.
Kelly's actually very smart.
Yeah.
I think Luann would be a great trader, although I don't know if she could stand, being isolated and not singing for 3 weeks. That would be very difficult. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she could still sing.
Around the house.
Around the
my
house.
God.
Who was I thinking about the other day that, I think Teresa would make a great trader.
Oh, yeah.
Teresa,
Yeah.
Vicky, Shannon.
Yeah, they both make a good I think, a lot of the housewives would make good traders.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so too.
They bring a lot of, color and zest to the show, I think.
Yeah.
It gets people excited.
Makes great TV.
It's a shame. I mean, someone said to me the other day, would you go back? And if they asked you to come back again, I said, oh my God, I'd absolutely go back.
That was my
and do it
question.
again.
What's next for you? Do you think we might get a chance to see you on maybe like a trip?
Right now, I don't think they're doing any of the girls' trips, but I do my Sirius XM radio show, which I love doing. And we're just sort of finalizing all the details to the Bluestone Manor show.
When's that going to happen?
We're shooting to start filming hopefully in June.
Mhm.
So that's
Okay.
moving right along.
I'm rooting for it because honestly, Vanderpump Villa was an absolute trash bag of a show.
Well, I think
Sorry.
the great news is it stayed in the family. Peacock is the one that I'm working with. They picked it up. And the great thing about Peacock and Bluestone Manor, there's no learning curve. We already have the audience,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think Vanderpump Villa maybe going to Hulu. It's just so hard to recreate the audience, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. It also just wasn't good.
I never watched it.
I'm hoping for a Roni OG reboot, and I need to see you on my TV as much as possible.
You know what? I think we have to let that ghost go as well.
Oh, it hurts.
Gotta let it go.
You've moved
I
on.
think we got to keep moving. I just don't see that happening. I think that they've committed to these girls, and
That's too bad.
they're gonna. What do you guys think of it? Like,
Awful.
are you
We
watching it?
Snooze
we
fest.
were, and then we stopped.
We tried.
We tried.
I love Jenna.
Yeah, we know. Mary loves Jenna, but everyone
Yeah.
loves Jenna. But no, we don't love Jenna on TV. I don't, at least. They're boring.
Well, I just feel like they don't listen. I don't want. As I say on everyone, because everyone asks you, the crown was heavy, right? And the thing
Yeah.
that was great about the girls is they were we were very transparent. I mean, if we were living it, you were seeing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I feel like they're much more protective, and we don't really. I don't feel because I have to cover it with Reality Check on Sirius. I don't know if you ever got to know them any better. That's all the audience wants. It doesn't even have to be great TV. Just be authentic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even the scene with Dolores and I on the raft, nothing outrageous happened, but it's just where we were,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
No, that's
And I
so
think
true.
when sometimes girls when the girls come on the show and they don't talk about their boyfriends, talk about their fiancés, talk about their life, don't want to talk about things. Why are we on reality? That's where I think they're losing the audience a little bit, because they're probably individually very fun, but I think there's a much more. Maybe that's what reality TV is now. They're much more aware of the camera than we ever were.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, they seem like lovely people, and I'd love to be friends with all of them, but I
And
just...
very, very good looking.
Yeah,
boy.
wonderful.
Mhm.
They're
Far,
just
far more glamorous than we were ever.
nonsense.
No.
Oh, no,
Nonsense.
no. That's true. You know what they used to say to me before filming? I used to watch Law and Order until they turned my mic on. I would be laying on my bed, and I'll never forget it. Chris DeRosa would say to me, for God's sakes, at least brush the back of your hair.
He said it's
I'm gonna take down
reality.
Sonya today and then go back and watch Law and Order.
That's amazing. Do we
No
have
one
it?
cares what I look like.
Dorinda, thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you I was so excited when I saw. I didn't think I qualified for the Viall Files.
Oh, well, I think you're being
So I'm
nice.
very honored.
Next time you do make it out to LA, whether you have a press trip or you're just visiting, let us know. We'd love to bring you into the studio. Dorinda, you're absolutely the best. We really appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon. All right, take care.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
icon.
Oh, God. Okay, now I gotta get.
Yeah, hang on.
Oh,
There
I'm
you
still
go.
here.
Okay. Oh God, I made that, huh? Thank
Vicky part
God.
Don't pull a Vicky. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Brian's like, what the hell's wrong with you? You got a podcast in 5 minutes. I'm like, who has a podcast? I don't know. I was floating around here. Making, let me just show you something. Making all different forms of kale salad.
Oh, we love. How do you make your kale salad?
Oh, I have the best recipe.
I don't know.
Okay, no. Because kale can be very difficult if you don't do it correctly.
Yes.
So first of all, I'll tell you quickly because I know you guys got to go. I de-stalk it, so it's just I take off just the finest leaves.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then what I do, I make a mixture of olive oil, squeezed lemon, and pink salt, and then I literally massage.
That's Nick's recipe.
Dorinda, we have the same recipe.
That's what Nick does.
Yeah, I make it once a week.
With breaded chicken,
and then what I
garlic.
do is I take a separate dish, and I let that sit for 20 minutes so it softens the kale.
Yeah.
Then I take a separate little bowl and I put some Bluestone Manor maple syrup, and French mustard.
Oh.
Mix that with a drop of rice vinegar, just a little bit. Mix that, and then I roast garbanzo beans with a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, sea salt, a little olive oil, so they've got a little crunch.
Ooh, yum.
And then what I do is I put it all together in a bowl, and then I just put a little more lemon, and then I shave Parmesan cheese on top, and I let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then I just serve it with whatever you want to serve. I just served it to Hannah with it.
Amazing.
I
put diced garlic in mine, Parmesan cheese, and then we'll make some chicken cutlets and put a little chicken in it and have a little chicken kale salad.
Well, you know what this one needs? It needs it needs like a walnut. I'm thinking about making a candied walnut next time and putting that in it.
Yum.
Have you ever made I'll tell you the best candied walnut. You take a walnut, you take a really good raspberry jam and really thin it. Put it in a frying pan and toss it. And then you let them dry, and then you crunch them all up, and it brings this kind of fruity walnut thing to salads.
Dorinda, let's do a cooking show together.
Let's cook.
All right, let's cook. All right, we'll see you in the kitchen. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
We love a housewife who doesn't know how to hang up.
Love a housewife.
Just love Dorinda.
But just the energy she brings, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like it's such a different vibe than
Like made for television.
right.
Like I need it.
Just absolutely genuinely herself and made for TV.
Yeah, no filter,
No.
comfortable with who they are,
Yes.
doesn't really care.
Say it.
Great
forget it,
energy.
write it,
As she
regret
says, she makes things nice.
Traitors in general, really enjoying the first 3 episodes. I don't know if you guys have all watched it. I highly recommend you guys catch up on Traitors. It is very entertaining. It's a good cast. Like we mentioned, Wells Adams also was voted off. I was shocked about that.
Disappointed.
Did you? He didn't tell you anything?
I knew he got voted off.
I mean, it was like such a misunderstanding, and it happened so fast. And it was like they were so neck and neck at the table, and like
He came for Robin.
He put an unnecessary
Yeah.
target on his back.
He just made the critical error of taking on Robin.
I don't know much about, the strategy of Traitors other than like if you come in with a reputation, don't add to it with coming in with a strong opinion early on. Fly under the radar, make friends. And that's why I'm shocked that Wells got voted off so early, because if Wells is anything, he's affable, he's likable.
Mm-hmm.
He knows
he
how
can talk to a brick wall.
He knows how to work a room.
Yeah.
He knows how to be everyone's friend. So I was shocked.
It was so sad when Ion started crying.
I know.
I know.
She loved him.
Was it Dolores that? Oh no, this is when Ion got voted off. When Dolores picked up her picture and was like, "That's my friend."
She picked up Dorinda's too, yeah.
Yeah.
But when Wells got voted off, and she was like, "He was the only person I talked to."
I was
Explain to
actually
give to
upset.
me.
I will say I love Chanel Ayan, and she's a very emotional person.
Yeah.
Why are they all calling her Ion?
I don't know. Yeah,
I
because
was confused. About
Dubai
that
is also
as well.
owned by Peacock originally, and it was Chanel Ayan.
But like it's
But
her
they're
first
saying
name
Ion
is-
Chanel.
It's
Look.
very confusing.
Maybe she just
Tomato,
in
tomato.
Scotland.
It's
Yeah.
interchangeable. It's
she's
Scotland.
rebranding in a new country.
I will say her handle, like on Instagram, it just says Ion, so maybe she just goes by both.
Okay.
Because her beauty brand is Ion Beauty,
So
so
that's
like
probably
maybe,
why.
yeah,
It's probably the
Oh,
makeup
the
right.
brand.
name to like
Well,
for
Chanel
the brand.
is a brand name.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. We figured it out. She's branding
Crack
herself.
the code.
Yeah. Who
Okay.
do you guys think the best traitor is?
Carolyn.
I think it's
It's
Caroline,
definitely
too.
not Danielle. I mean, this like crying and performing she's doing every morning. I loved when Boston Rob was like, "What the fuck is this bitch doing?"
But
right
oh my
now?"
god. Okay, so I don't know much about Survivor, but I saw a fan cam of Boston Rob when he was young.
Hot.
Guy was
hot.
hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was dreaming.
Boston Rob is a
Yeah.
heartthrob
Yeah.
for sure.
I did
He's
not
so
know
hot.
that a man named Boston Rob could be a heartthrob.
Well,
Honest-
especially kind of showing up middle-aged ish,
Yeah.
and it looks fine, looks lovely.
He
but
looks
yeah,
great. Well,
he's
knowing-
still heartthrob.
he's still
He's
a
got
heartthrob.
swag. Like even the way that like he
His
can
little
defend
poker
his
face.
backwards hat and his blazer. He's like, I've been doing this since '82. Like I'm not
Yeah.
changing now.
It
And I'm
wasn't
like,
good
I
then
love
either.
you.
No,
I love
I
it.
did watch his Survivor season.
Me too.
And was obsessed with him.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
he was. He's got dreamy eyes. Dylan, he's well. First of all, he's the first one to identify a traitor.
Yep.
He suspected Bob the drag queen was
Little
a traitor for
misguided.
all the right reasons.
Who suspected Danielle? Was it Jeremy?
Jeremy, yeah.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've got some people who are on the right track. And it is so funny to watch the show because obviously we as the audience know everything. So to watch these people just be so wrong,
Yeah.
it's like you want to, like watching Gabby be like, it's got to be Ivar. It's got to be Tony.
Tony.
It's got to, it's just like,
no,
I'm
Gabby's
like,
like, it's anyone but Bob,
Yeah.
the drag queen. It's like,
But the thing is,
okay.
like, even though Gabby's wrong, she's right.
no, she's not.
I have to
I
say,
think she is.
I'm representing the Bambies today because I was a big fan of them
Bambi-eyed
having little
bitches.
I want Gabby to win. I'm
She's
rooting
like,
for
we're
Gabby.
all just doe-eyed and
Big
Bambi-eyed
eyes.
and
I
hot
love-
and
We're all just
funny.
like really good looking
Yeah.
and best dressed, and like we're
what
the
did she
funniest
say?
people
She was
here.
like, I love smoked salmon.
We're probably the smartest.
I love the little olives.
I love
and
talking
I love
shit
talking
and
shit.
goat cheese.
And
Yeah.
goat cheese. I love goat cheese and I love talking
I love
shit.
her
She's
so
just
much.
a walking soundbite, and I
She's
love it so much.
funny. Oh my god.
Chriselle
Oh,
Chriselle.
coming for Tom's throat.
She said I was friends with your ex, and I don't trust you, bitch.
Oh my god.
Chriselle's such a TV pro. She really is.
She's
She's
a
like,
killer.
in case anyone forgot, she's like, I'm gonna let everyone watching this show know that you cheated on your ex.
Yeah.
You're a dick.
Oh my god.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
Alan being like, and how would you feel to be betrayed, Tom? It wouldn't feel very good. What is?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, and then Tom Sandoval reminded all of us that wearing gray in anxiety-ridden moments, not for the faint of heart.
I mean, the sweatiest man.
he also
alive.
had a cardigan that he chose to take off and then chose to leave it off.
He was so nervous.
Yeah.
He was so nervous. Also, whenever he took off his blindfold at the beginning, and Chriselle was like, "You were giving me that fucking eyebrow up,
Spock
like
eyebrow."
Spock eyebrow, like you
was
make
instantly
anyone
like-
fucking nervous."
Yeah.
As soon as they took their headbands off, I looked across the
Yeah.
room. He's so good at TV, though.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
true.
think we appreciate Tom Sandoval being on TV as much as people should. I'm just gonna say it.
Well,
I'm
they
just-
brought Wes from the challenge.
I hate him.
I actually kind of enjoy watching him.
I like him more than Derek.
How could none of the faithful suspect that at least one of the newbies might be a traitor? I don't understand.
Well, Derek
that.
did. Derek said at least one of us is going to be a traitor.
Oh, so then why isn't he? You know, he's a gamer.
I don't know.
Well,
He's probably keeping his
He-
cards.
He's just keeping
not
his,
saying
yeah.
anything.
He's just not saying anything.
Mhm.
It's weird to me that
But he will.
that people wouldn't go against Boston Rob because there's a reason why you all don't want him on in the first place, and they wouldn't let him in the house. Like he would be somebody that I would suspect because it would be like Dorinda thought Sandoval. It kind of
Mhm.
seems like the obvious choice to make him a traitor, but it would be the fake out to think he was a faithful.
Watching the way he was working Tony
Mm-hmm.
in that round table.
Ooh.
Oh, that sent a chill.
When he
up my
left and he was
spine.
like, "You dirty,
You're a sellout, bro.
You're a sellout." Bro.
That like hurt my heart.
oh my gosh, he's playing the game.
Yeah.
he is
And
playing
for
the
Bob,
game.
Bob's gaslighting
His
of
impeccable skills, I will say.
was incredible.
The thing is, Dylan chose to go up against a housewife and a drag queen.
Yeah.
What are you expecting?
You don't
to
have
happen?
a
I was like-
chance.
I thought
Bob
he did pretty well.
Bob opened for Madonna. You think he cannot like gaslight a room?
I honestly don't think Bob's doing that great of a job, to be honest. I think he's getting a little too
agree.
cocky that he
Mhm.
is a traitor, and I think traitors have a bit of an advantage, right? So they tend to go further, and I think he projecting a little bit of security in his position as a traitor, and he's just he's very loud,
Mm-hmm.
he's very opinionated, and I don't know how he isn't putting a target on his
I mean,
back.
I feel like that's exactly why Dorinda got voted off because she was loud and she was opinionated. And
Yeah.
they're like, "What the fuck? Let's get her out."
Well,
Because
I
she's-
think Dorinda got voted out because it was easy
Ivor.
because of Ivor.
Yeah.
If Dorinda hadn't popped off on Ivor, then Dorinda would have stayed. They're trying to frame Ivor.
Mm.
But even Danielle that morning when she was like, I hope it's not this person because if a traitor did this, and I was like, the only person that picked up on that was Jeremy.
I think Rob is going to sabotage Bob.
Connor thinks that too.
Yeah,
He
I-
said he's
I-
I
gonna.
think so. Too.
I think Boston Rob is kind of like, this is amateur hour,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be like, Bob the drag queen's too loud. He's putting a target on all of us.
He
and
already had
and-
to like
and
sell
he's-
out Tony, and
yeah.
he doesn't want to have to do that
He's
again.
gonna he's gonna
Interesting.
present as a faithful and get
What I hate is that they're always like, "Oh yeah, and your name got thrown out, and stop telling people whose name's getting thrown out."
But that creates
Well,
the
they're all
drama
trying
of
to
the
figure
show.
it out. And I think Peter Weber said this when we interviewed him from last season. Yeah, they have these competitions, but other than that, all they're doing all day long is just sitting around this castle talking and figuring it out and conspiring and just kind of hanging out and trying to figure out who's a faithful, who a traitor is. So they have, they're kind of forced to have these conversations. So it is what it is.
But there's also that scene where they were all sitting in like the library. There was a group of like 5 or 6 faithful sitting in the library, and 2 traitors walked in, did like a head count,
Yeah.
and then it was like, "Oh, okay, bye." And it's just like, what are you guys paying attention to during the off time? Because I would think it'd be really weird if 2 people came in.
Well, Gabby almost caught them when they were in the.
Well, that
Wow.
could have.
The show.
Here's the thing about this show is like they're editing the hell out of it. That Gabby thing had to have been like a.
She heard something.
like
She
an
kept
edit.
looking in.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, who knows what she was hearing?
I thought Dylan made a really smart move because it's a weird thing because you don't want to accuse anyone too early because you might put a target on your back.
Mhm.
I think it worked in Dylan's favor that
Mhm.
Bob didn't get exiled because now, like, there's no way the traitors are gonna vote out Dylan.
Yeah.
Because if so, then that puts a huge target on
Bob.
Bob.
Or
So,
Robin.
I mean, it's exactly why Danielle will not vote for Brittany because
Mhm.
she's like, no, they'll know it's me. I'm not doing that.
So if
Yeah.
you're Dylan, I hope that he and kind of like he did. He had this like peace offering with Bob, and I hope Dylan kind of flies under the radar for
Yeah.
a bit and kind of backs off and befriends them. But
Yeah.
he still can't get voted off from the traitors because that will let them know
Who the traitor?
traitor is.
that he's hot on their trail. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. Dylan also has an advantage for not having really a reputation.
Yeah.
Because he's just like,
everyone loves his brother.
Yeah, he's
like why not
nice.
love him?
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
very likable. Well, the thing that could happen with Dylan is like the traitors could kind of manipulate the round table into exiling him. That's the way they would have to go about it.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like the
tougher to do
It is tougher to do, but
without putting a target on them.
I mean,
Yeah.
when Robin was like, "Well, you told me and Chanel last night, and where is she?"
Mhm.
Convenient.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Should we get into Salt Lake City?
Yes.
I feel like it was a really good episode.
Oh my God, was it ever?
It was a really
And
great
I just-
episode.
I want to say I actually believe Brittany,
Come the fuck
I
on.
do not
I
believe
wanna-
her.
and I want to make my case if I can.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, but I will say before you make your case, Brittany absolutely deserves a snowflake.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
100%.
100%.
She's
the fact that
incredible.
I forget that she doesn't have a snowflake, and every time they like cut in and out of commercial and they show like all the ladies with the snowflakes, and I'm like, wait, why? Where the fuck is Brittany? Her and Bronwyn are carrying this season.
Oh yeah.
Bronwyn kind of pissed me off this
Make your
episode.
case.
My case is so when they did the confessional, it was what 24 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
Homegirl starts the recording and then instantly they start screaming and she looks away. So in my head, I'm like, she's saying she didn't know she was pressing it. She's trying to end it. So in her head, it's like she started a recording. Maybe she was going to record the scenery like she said. And then all these housewives start screaming. Of course, I'm going to look and be like, oh shoot, 20 seconds later, let me stop it. You know?
Justin, her story changed from she was trying to record something out the window to trying to turn the
But
camera.
she was
No.
the thing is, though, if you
to-
listen to it, she did record the scenery. She did do the peace sign with Whitney. So she did all of those little things. And the second she got to the third one, it was like
Mm-mm.
the 20 seconds long.
She said, well, I didn't know it was going to pick up the audio of y'all arguing. And it's like, but you knew it was going to pick up you being like, good luck, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love you.
To piggyback off that, she also said it was a live photo. So she's like, sometimes it picks up audio, but
As
like
she's
it was
literally
a
pressing the
recording.
record video
Okay,
button.
but you see
the
her
opposite
struggling.
away from
You see her struggling to even stop and start it. So it's like
Although
homegirl didn't know what she was doing.
talk about actually that gives you, if you ever wanted to do this, lesson learned. If you ever wanted to record your friends arguing, have your photo on live and then start just rapidly taking pictures of the scenery in live mode because it does
Even then,
record
I'd be
your
like,
audio.
what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking photos
A
right
burst.
now?
Pay
Where are
attention
you?
to our argument.
Yeah, I'd just be like,
Take
oh,
a
you guys,
side.
you guys are annoying. I'd just be taking
Yeah.
pictures, just
Yeah.
like,
Crazy.
and you get some audio.
Then you have to patch together a crazy amount of photos
Yeah.
to link
No,
all
you
that.
I don't think,
it.
I think it'd be easier than you think.
I just wish she would have been like, oh my God, guys, I was just trying to talk some shit with Jared. Like, I'm sorry. I was just trying to be like, Jared,
don't
listen
think
to
so,
these
though.
crazy
I
bitches.
I
what she
believe
was
it was
doing.
innocent in the fact that, yes, she just
No.
wanted to gossip with her boyfriend. I don't think
That's
she
not
was
what she
being
was doing.
malicious. What do you think she was doing?
I think she violated Essential Housewives code by doing that.
Sure, but I don't think, what I'm saying, I don't think it was malicious.
I don't think she was trying to send it to reality
she was,
Von
no. She was not trying to send it to anyone. She was trying to take a video of it so she could go back to her room, listen to what they were saying and have exactly the receipts to say what like everyone was saying.
She wanted to gossip with her boyfriend.
Yes, but then it's also like you're relying on like the trust of the group that like all of what you're saying is like it's being recorded, but you're not going to be able to remember every single thing.
I don't think she's that strategic.
My take on it is like when Monica, not to bring her back up last season at Bermuda, she had no chance to say a single thing because everybody was just screaming from different areas. So like in this case, Brittany's in the Sprinter van, 9 people are screaming at her. She can only get 1 or 2 words out every single sentence.
Oh, they
so
came
now
for her throat.
So they're stringing together these like stories, but it's like she didn't even get a chance to say the story to begin with. So
Well, she said 4 different ones.
Because everybody kept saying something, so she's talking
So
to
she was
this.
like, oh, let me figure out a new one. Hold on.
No, she's responding to every single thing every person's saying. So it's like it becomes this whole
She's like, I'm sending a video to my daughter. I was just recording the scenery. It was just the back of the seat. It was
also 24 seconds.
Faking.
We're acting like it's the whole conversation.
But she said it was a second and a half.
Yeah. She said it literally a second and a half.
First she said it was a second. Then she said it was a second and a half.
Well, because they're
Are you
saying
sure it wasn't facing me?
They're saying a whole conversation. So in my head, a second and a half is 24 seconds, you know?
Yeah, but 24 seconds is when she got caught.
Also, how many of you guys have accidentally recorded videos?
Not me.
Not often.
Not while people are
when my
screaming
phone's
around
in
me.
my
Yeah.
hand. Maybe if it's in my back pocket.
I think you guys are just too strategic with your deleteds.
Oh no,
The deleteds.
Listen,
Oh my
Meredith
God.
screaming, "You are vile."
Yeah,
Nick was like,
I was
like,
very
I'm
triggered by Meredith constantly being like, "You're vile, you're vile, you're vile." Pick a different word, Meredith.
What did she say? She didn't say you can leave. It was like
She
you
did say-
have
You can
to
leave.
leave.
You
or
have
something
to
like
leave.
you have to go.
Mary being like, get her, Meredith.
Mary loved every minute of it.
It was awesome. God.
What did you think of the whole bit of like, is there a recording device in the room?
Incredible.
funny,
It was
hilarious.
Incredible.
clearly a producer setup, I think. Like, there's no way they were like, let's just act this out.
No,
Well,
I think
Meredith is that like to where she starts overthinking and she's like, wait a second, but I haven't heard anything from Heather, and I have. So how would she have heard me? And if I was standing here with a call, I do think Meredith thinks
Yeah.
like that. And I think Heather is so good at playing like Robin that she was like, oh yeah, let's fucking look for it. And that was the funniest scene ever. Also, I think that confession
That's awesome.
at dinner when Brittany's like, I have not been truthful.
The only thing I haven't been truthful about.
And it's something.
Oh my
Everyone's
God.
on the edge of their
It
fucking
was-
seat. I'm looking at Nick being like, please, God, for the love of God, what is this going to be? And come on. Like, we know what you're doing, bitch. You're changing the subject.
I literally looked at my roommate who was watching it with me, and I was like, if this bitch says she's sleeping with Jared or something.
I immediately was like, it's going to be something about Jared.
When she first said it, I was dumbfounded because I was like, what does this have to do with
for Brittany,
any?
it was a big confession.
And then, yeah.
I think you have to acknowledge that for
And Bronwyn and
for
Heather.
a community that makes you. They would rather have you pretend that you're faithful with your religion and that you are devout and you are abstaining from sex or alcohol and things like that than.
But I
not.
do
But to
find
Whitney's
it that
point-
I do find it hard that this is like her big secret and she's like finally being honest with the group when it's like you've been drinking this whole time and you were like, don't bring alcohol to my house because and it's like it's on a national television show and you're like perfectly fine grabbing a margarita, getting a little drunk, talking about lingerie, and like
I think Bronwyn said it nice, where she's like, you have to let go of that guilt and stop blaming others.
Yeah. Or stop
What
trying
did
to out
Bronwyn
people.
call her?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Okay, Steve Jobs, I know how to work an
Yeah,
iPhone.
That was awesome.
I gotta say, Bronwyn she's losing me just a little bit.
No. I think that whole thing was a spin. They showed her talking to Lisa, and it's very capable that somebody can address an issue that they personally have with another person and not involve the others. She did say there was a conversation that happened that wasn't painting you in the best light, but here's my side of it.
I'm not a fickle housewife fan.
Neither am I.
You know, I have my people, and all I want is authenticity. And
Yeah.
Bronwyn is
But
authentic.
she's got to pick someone to be authentic to and loyal to. She's
And-
got to pick one.
yeah.
Right now, she's playing so many different sides.
She's getting her feet
She's
I
wet.
agree.
It's
I
her,
agree
it's
with
her
you,
rookie
Natalie.
She's
season.
not getting her feet wet. Her feet are soaking, sopping wet.
And also, to be fair, in my defense of Bronwyn too, I think that there is a part of her that really is trying to navigate this friendship with Lisa because Lisa really does mean something to her. So I do think that she's making choices to where
then she has to stop breadcrumbing and setting up
Yes.
the other women
Yes.
to talk shit about her.
Yes.
Because she comes to the table and she opens up this conversation of here's a safe space of like Lisa and how she hurt me and what do y'all think and what did y'all think of the situation?
And then she
Knowing
goes
they're not
running
fans
right
of her,
back to Lisa.
knowing they'll talk shit about Lisa and then takes that back to Lisa.
But I'm like, is it breadcrumbing where I'm like, the event just happened, she's upset, and Lisa clearly is not the friend that's coming to her aid, and these people are, that I'm like, at the end of the day, Heather, Whitney, all of them have fought to be best friends with Lisa as well. So I'm like, they're not exactly alienated out of what Bronwyn's going through, to where I'm like, yes, Bronwyn might have, it might seem like Bronwyn's being two-faced, but in my opinion, where I'm like, she's trying to gauge, is this normal? Do you think Lisa, da-da-da? And then they all came with her confirming that like, no, Lisa's like this, or Lisa didn't defend you, or whatever it is. So maybe her getting her ducks in a row to go talk to Lisa is like, this is how I feel, and it's not just me.
Getting some how the other women feel and then taking it back to Lisa and being like, well, I don't appreciate how the conversation went. It made me feel really gross what these women were saying about you. It's like, come on. It just felt a little dirty.
I'm
on
with
Bronwyn's.
Natalie. I love
Yeah.
Bronwyn, but how many
How many-
two-faced quote-unquote conversations are you the center of?
There's
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, that's like,
I mean, I'm,
and
to
she
be clear,
loves
I'm
to
not
say she's
defending
transparent. And
Oh,
it's
I'm
like,
defending.
she can
I
be
still like her.
I love that she's transparent, but I need her to pick someone
She
that
needs to
she
stand
can
up
be
for
loyal
herself.
to. And I need, like, she's got to be able to have someone she can not talk shit about, but like have a conversation about another person and not that person not be like, fuck, is she about to go tell? Like, she's
Yeah.
got to make someone in this
Yeah.
group feel safe to talk to
Bronwyn
her.
is
I
radar
agree.
online.
But she's by herself, and Lisa is her friend, and she's
But
not
Lisa's
friend. These
not
women
her
are
friend.
Lisa's not her
That's what I'm saying.
friend.
These women are just now being nice to her after she confessed something about her relationship, but she's been on an island alone outside of Lisa.
No,
No,
she
she was
turns on
good
them.
friends with Whitney and Angie, and then she turned on Whitney
Yeah.
and
Yup.
Angie and told Lisa that they were
Lisa.
talking shit about her.
She
And
needs
so
to
then
drop.
she, on
Lisa.
their hike or whatever.
I don't think good friends. And as I said, Whitney and Angie decided to tell her things to sway her opinion of Lisa.
All I gotta say is thank God Bronwyn is a little messy because between that and Brittany in her confessionals, I don't know
Yeah.
what else we'd be
No,
talking
we also
about.
had drunk Heather who decided to drop a bomb on Meredith and be like, "It's fine, it was nothing, and we just talked about how you were cheated, and it's fine." It's
How you
nothing."
co-sign emotional
I
relationships.
rewatched it. I rewatched it, and that's like
She does say we.
She alluded to it, but then it's like Meredith took it and spun it into like something totally different.
That's what she does.
Ex-
Like
Expert Meredith
all she did was say like you've been involved with it and like you like know what like emotions are or whatever, like affairs, but like she spun it into like you say co-sign affairs and my relationship, and it's like nobody ever said any of
Wait,
that.
it was actually really funny too how she was trying to double check because she was offended by when Heather said it in the cart, and then she's like, "Wait, I need to double
was
check. Are you confirming that
amazing.
Bronwyn said?" And then Heather's like, "No, you're wrong." And she's like, "What is happening?"
And then Lisa just goes weapon.
Weapon.
And I will give Lisa, I was like, I don't know what it's like to be friends with Lisa Barlow, but I have never seen so many women compete to be friends with somebody or
Yeah,
like.
I don't. What is she?
it-
Does she have shit on people? I don't like.
She's either got to be the best time to hang around, but I've just never seen women go toe to toe to be
No,
Lisa's
they really.
favorite.
So Lisa's credit, people are begging to be in her orbit.
You know the only one who has never begged to be in her orbit?
Me.
Well, no, Meredith. Lisa had to beg Meredith
What
to
are you
be in
talking
Meredith's
about?
orbit.
Meredith is definitely
That's true.
a
No.
Lisa stan.
The
No,
hot mic moment.
The
yeah.
hot mic
Yeah.
moment. In season 2, Meredith was like done with Lisa, and Lisa had to beg Meredith to become her friend again.
Speaking of friendship, said that I absolutely thought was so touching. Mary and Angie sharing that moment where she was
Yeah.
helping her with her hair, and how Angie's like, "I'm the only one that knows what Mary's going through. I just want to make her feel good."
We see something in like the preview for the finale, and I'm so scared that it's Angie telling the women like what happened.
hope that's not what
You know,
happened.
it's like it seems like there's some issue between Mary and Angie, and it's like
Angie said, "Why are you pushing me away?" And Mary goes, "Because you hurt me."
Oh no!
like what did she do?
Yeah. And I hope that's just out of context. Please, please,
I know.
please.
Yeah.
Do we know if Mary and Angie have been?
They've been at events together since.
Yeah.
Kathy Hilton's party. They were
Well, yeah,
together.
yeah.
I've heard of like interviews I've heard with Angie. She loves Mary. She talks extremely high of Mary.
The funniest thing is the beginning of Angie and Mary's friendship was last reunion when Andy asked Mary, "Who do you trust on this couch?" or feel welcomed by, and she goes, "Angie."
Well,
Out
it's
of
because
nowhere.
Angie told her that she either had something in her teeth or something on her hair or something, and it helped her fix. She goes, "Oh my god, thank you so much." And then the next question was like, "Angie's my
Angie.
favorite."
It's
It doesn't take
beautiful.
much for Mary.
But the whole season, Mary was like, "Don't sit next to me. Who are you? Stop talking to
Yeah.
me."
Stop talking to me. Stop asking me to come over there. I don't know you.
What do we
Mhm.
think of Whitney's new hair?
I love
I'm
it.
a fan. I love the reason
red.
why.
She was really cute.
She's dyed her hair red in solidarity with her daughter,
Bobby.
who's gets made fun of,
Yeah, bullied in
Yeah.
school.
bullied in school
for being a redhead.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes,
why. It
that's why
looks
she
great.
did it. That's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
She does look like the other Whitney now, but I love both of
That
them.
is
so.
true, though. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives
No, she doesn't.
Well, just the
with the red and the
Whitney's, ginger hair Whitney's
Yeah.
in Mormon culture. She dyed her hair ginger,
She
didn't
had
she?
like 3 hair colors
Yeah.
in this first season.
So her
So
husband.
her husband had like 5
Yeah.
different takes.
Should
Yeah.
we quickly jump through Southern Hospitality and Southern Charm since they're kind of boring?
For special forces.
Or special.
Well,
Forces.
Special Forces out. And if you guys aren't watching it, it's really entertaining. Stephen Baldwin is an absolute hoot the first couple episodes. He quickly goes home, but I couldn't stop laughing.
The
it was
way
wild.
he was trying to get the medic to be like, "You need to go home," and he's like, "I
What
don't know
was
why
he
you
s-
keep asking
What
me."
was he even saying?
He
I
was
was
saying-
like, I'm confused now too.
He was giving 3 different like health ailments as to like why he can't continue on, but he wanted the medic to say,
But then he goes, if you were paid to have a job next.
Because you know he has some
movie,
Whatever.
or
I don't know if
some
he
guest
does,
appearance
though.
on something that they're paying more
I
than
want
special
to
forces.
know if he got the gig that he claimed
Yeah.
to have booked.
It is really sweet to watch it with Nick because he's very like,
I did say,
like,
yeah.
you know.
The whole time I was
he's-
like, well, Nick did it.
It brings you back for sure. I tell you what, this season they're putting him through it. It's very challenging. You're saying he hasn't booked anything?
Oh no. I was just like shaking my head no to I couldn't ever do that the way that I would like. Sorry, send me home.
Also, props to Denise Richards.
Mhm.
Denise
Yeah.
Richards is on it. She is crushing it. She jumped from a speeding boat onto a helicopter.
She caught it.
And then
Mhm.
bungee jumped. Like, I mean, essentially, she bungee jumped and then like rappelled down. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
she did some incredibly brave things. And then we come to find out that when she was jumping from the speeding boat to the helicopter, she tore both her breast implants that she, I think, has since had surgery to repair, which she didn't even leave after that happened. She continued on, still basically bungee jumped and rappelled down whatever the fuck, and put herself through some pretty rigorous stuff. So props to Denise. I
Mhm.
know she was the second one out, but I'll tell you what, that having gone through what those people went through, the fact that Denise did what she did, I have mad respect for her. She really has some guts, and
Yeah.
I'm
I'm happy that
crushed
she was
it.
on screen every 2 seconds.
Well, I
loved it.
mean, you're gonna be usually when you're early out. You can
Makes
kinda,
sense, yeah.
you
I
can kind of
enjoyed it,
tell
though.
who's gonna go for a while because you haven't seen much of them. But we got Brody Jenner. He's on it. Cam Newton, star football player. He's on it. He's very interesting to watch. Ali Fedotowsky, she had to leave because of an injury.
Mhm.
So it's a really good cast. Pink, husband, is on it. Carrie Hart. So yeah, it's a wild cast.
I would also like to confirm that Stephen Baldwin does have a completed project, and he's in production for another project
Okay.
and another one in development.
Booked and busy,
Booked
So-
and
Steven.
busy.
Yeah.
He couldn't not turn his head left for these movies, so let him go.
Can you say what they're called?
Go West is in production. A Walking Miracle, where he plays Pastor Paul, is completed, and Streetball Game Over, playing Mayor Livingston, is in development.
Let's
Okay,
go,
Pastor Paul.
Steven.
Get it,
Pastor
Pastor Paul?
Okay. Southern Charm. Man,
I think Paige makes the show a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but she's not on the show.
I know.
And they're not even in a relationship anymore.
I
So
know.
that's a problem. It's really just about the bromance, I guess.
What is Sally doing?
Okay, so Sally was also, she's in season 2
Oh, that's
of
right.
Southern Hospitality. So, like, there's like this weird crossover that's happening, but
And I get confused. Sally's the one that works in like the hospitals, right?
yes.
Sally's the one who showed up for The Bachelor for a hot second,
Right.
chickened out, like left immediately because she like just got out of an engagement. Did the exact same thing on Bachelor in Paradise. That seemed like more of a bit. And now she's found her way on Southern Hospitality. So she is
And Southern Charm.
And
And now
Southern
Southern Charm.
she's trying desperately to be on reality TV.
Well, and right now she's claiming that Gaston, which is Taylor's man, called her and said, "Don't keep my name in your mouth."
Well, hasn't
Right.
she been talking a lot of shit about him?
Yeah.
So
That's the
But then we
thing.
also
As
see in
you
a
should.
preview that she's saying that he was good in bed. So it's like
Yeah.
What are
maybe
we-
he's right.
Watching
Like,
Paige listen to all of this was really fun. She was like, "Oh, it was great."
Well, backtracking to go back to Special Forces. Who is on the show is the ex of Travis Kelce.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she had a good
Kayla
storyline so
Nicole.
far.
I feel for her because I don't doubt that her big story is the internet bullies and people coming for her, but she obviously is on the show because she is Travis Kelce's ex. So it's kind of like a chicken before the egg shit, you know? It's like, I don't know. She's sad she's getting bullied, but she's also obviously taking advantage of the fact that
Was she an
is the ex.
influencer before though?
I know
She
she's
Yeah,
a
but like she's
model.
not getting casted on the show if she's not Travis Kelce's
Maybe,
ex.
yeah.
Not maybe.
Well, but yeah.
But she did make a point to say nice things about Taylor, so I'm just kind of like, at the end of the day,
I've met her quickly and she's lovely, and I think she's gonna do very well on the show. But it's she's in a tough spot because it's like they're gonna make her talk about it, and I don't judge her for wanting to go on the show if she gets the opportunity. But like
She did have a quote though that was good, where she was saying that it's like it's shitty to be reduced down to a headline. Where I'm just like, doesn't matter what she's done before this. Obviously, she is Travis Kelce's ex, but it's like at the end of the day, she's Travis Kelce's ex who's now with Taylor Swift, and it's just like if she wants to make her own career or to like at least distance herself from it, then I think you have to acknowledge it and then move on.
And we know Swifties can be vicious and they can be
quite scary.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, I mean, there wasn't much else to go about it. We've got Craig and Austin taking a break, I guess, not with Austin's blessing.
I mean, it's such a weird like
it's giving grow up, Austin.
Well, it's also just giving like, you grow up and like your interests don't align anymore. Like Craig doesn't want to go out and drink anymore. Like I mean, having a baby, obviously, I think a lot of people struggle with like, oh, once I had a kid, I lost a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like, while, you lose friends because you're not like going to the club anymore and you're not like going out to dinner at 10 p.m. because you have like a baby to take care of, like you're not hanging out with those people anymore because those people are still doing those things. But I also think it's like, I mean, for me, it's like, who's trying to invest into my child's life? Like, those are the people I'm keeping around.
Right.
It's like, it's not the casual acquaintances that like I hung out with here and there or got coffee with or whatever. It's like, who wants to be a part of my child's life and who do I want a part of my child's life? And like, those are the friendships that are important to me now. And so it's like, I can see how Craig is like, dude, we're not into the same shit anymore. I don't want to go to a bar and get drunk anymore. Like, I want to be at home. I want to garden. If you want to like go get a 6-pack of beer and come over to the backyard and like sit in a lawn chair while I garden, like, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
But Austin's not interested
It's just
in
a
that.
weird
So
thing
it's
for
like,
Austin to get mad at Craig for, It makes sense, but like Craig is the one growing and maturing and evolving. Austin is resistant to that. And
Austin, in my opinion, is kind of being like a succubus in the sense to where it's like you want to bring Craig down to your level where you're at because it makes you feel comfortable, but you can't be happy for your friend for succeeding or making other choices.
because, like when people outgrow you, it's hard to see the bigger picture.
But to be fair, I'm like, he didn't really outgrow him in the sense that he said he spends, 2 or 3 days minimum a week with this guy filming podcasts.
more like in a metaphorical sense, but he is outgrowing him.
Yeah.
As Craig evolves, they continue to have less in common.
Mm-hmm.
Austin doesn't want to change. He's
Right.
resistant to change. He likes his life. He's like, this is fun. I'm getting paid from this TV show. I don't need more. I don't want to change. Let's just keep the band together. And Craig's like, I'm over it. He's got, he's invested in his girlfriend. He wants to lean into that. He sees Paige having a bunch of success. I imagine
Hello, Empire.
I imagine that motivates Craig.
Mhm.
Why is Craig going to the sperm bank again? Is that just a bit?
Because he wanted to save his sperm in case something were to happen to him, that if Paige decided she still wanted to have his kids.
Well, because Paige doesn't want to have kids now.
Yeah.
and he saw
Or
like a commercial or something about how someone got in a car wreck and then they weren't allowed. They were like,
sterile.
Sounds like a bit.
no, I think that's the type of like, I think Craig is a little bit neurotic in that way.
I think Craig's going to be engaged in the next year and a half.
For sure.
He's going to meet a lady and he's going to fall deeply in love. And
He seems like he's ready to settle down.
I give it like Christmas this year, he'll be engaged. Or like at least we'll know. Maybe New Year's. I feel like he's like,
And is it a Southern Charm
spectacle.
castmate or is it?
No.
Okay. We do have the vibes like results.
Well, the Packers lost, so fuck that.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
the Steelers.
So the Steelers. Who did we pick? Oh, Washington won. I won.
Washington, you won. We lost. So, Florida and Pittsburgh both lost, which sucks for me. Life goes on.
Life goes on. All right. Well, we will see you on Thursday. Thanks for listening. Anything you guys can do to support the people dealing with these wildfires, please do so. Giving our best to all those affected. Go out and support Heidi and Spencer. Make sure she stays at #1 and get her to the top of the Billboard charts. We love you. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.